everyone, welcome to day 12 of the 12 Days of Christmas series. This is the last card officially for the series, but don't worry, I'm sure there'll be a bonus video in the future. To get started, I'm going to need a piece of masking paper and a card base. So my card base measures 11 by 4 1/4. It's folded in half at 5.5 inches. I'm going to grab a piece of masking paper that's relatively the same size and make a wobbly frame and cut it out with my X-Acto knife. I was really surprised how easy it was to cut out, and it didn't make too many harsh lines, so I was quite satisfied with it. But you don't need perfectly round lines or anything. This is just going to be for masking. You're going to save both pieces of that paper. I'm going to trace the outline of the inner frame using a pencil so I know where to put my stamps for placement, as well as my mask. And then I am going to attach the frame here attach my card base rather to my Misty, and I am going to be stamping from the Winter Wonderland stamp from Winnie and Walter, 2 of the stamps. So I'm going to be stamping this deer as well as the holly or the leaves of a pine tree, whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to be using Schoolhouse Red ink from Simon Says Stamp. And I'm going to be stamping those 2 stamps as well on masking paper and cutting them out. Now, I'm not doing an exact cut, I'm doing an approximate cut on these 2 stamps, so you don't worry about having to cut out every single little detail on those. So now I'm going to gather all of my masking sheets that I created, my frame and my 2 pieces. So you can see I just cut sort of around the object, doesn't need to be perfect, and I'm just going to attach those masking pieces onto my card. So I'm going to cover that holly, I'm going to cover the deer, and I'm going to cover the frame according to my pencil marks on my card there. And then we're going to get started on making our very own background stamp without having a background stamp. So to do that, I'm using my Misty. You can use any sort of stamping tool, but the Misty and the grid lines really help me do this card. One, because my masking area is actually bigger than my card. You don't want to do that. You want to cut it slightly smaller than your card base because, as you can see, my masking paper goes off of my card, which means that it's actually not lined up straight at the moment. So it was kind of a little difficult to judge the card itself, but I ended up making it work because of the Misty and the grid lines. Anyway, I'm just taking off a bunch of words from this stamp set from Winnie and Walter called The Big, the Bold, and the Merry. And it's a really great stamp because it has a whole bunch of words that you can create your own sentiments with, as well as some really big words like peace, holidays, and merry, joy, and Christmas. And then it has dozens and dozens of little words, so you can really create any sort of Christmas sentiment that you would like to create. And that's really important for this background stamp because I'm going to be creating a word collage background. So essentially what I wanted to do was line up my card first on my Misty, and the only way that was possible was peeling out the masking paper and putting the edge of my card on against the edge of the Misty. And I'm just going to be laying out random words in lines as straight as possible and with approximate even spacing. So you kind of want to put them everywhere, and you want to have them off center. So you don't want to have all the words starting on the left as if it's starting on a margin at all. You kind of want to have them offset in different areas, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Now, I'm not going to show you the entire layout of how to lay these stamps, but let's just say that it wasn't the easiest thing to do, but in the end, you could create some really great backgrounds with this, and you could use this over and over again for bulk cards. So it might take you 10 minutes to lay out the scene, but then you just keep stamping it over and over again, and you can create a really awesome cards and masked off areas. So I just put different sentiments, again, from The Big, the Bold, and the Merry, as well as the Winter Wonderland set. Those are the bigger words that you're seeing on there. I'm just stamping down using black ink from Versamark. So now you can see I've lined up all those words, stamped them down, and now you can simply put in another card base, stamp those down, and just keep going and making your own card background stamps. So it's really fun to see what kind of images you can gather to create your own background stamps, and it saves you a lot of money from buying background stamps as well. So now comes the fun reveal, where we are going to reveal our masked off area as well as the final result of the card. When peeling off your masked area, you want to be really careful and slow, especially because you have masks on top of masks on this card, so you don't want anything to tear, especially the actual card base itself. So just go as slowly as possible and take your time. and then I'm going to remove all of them and you'll see the final results of the card right now. But I wanted to create sort of a frame. You could leave it like this, but I wanted to create sort of a wonky frame around it. So first I just wanted to erase my original pencil marks because they aren't exactly accurate after the point of stamping. And then I'm just going to go ahead and draw in another frame with my pencil and then go over it with a black marker. While I'm finishing up this card, I just wanted to chat with you for a bit. I am going to be giving away $25 to Winnie and Walter over on my blog. So you can click on the link below in the description to be taken to my blog, and you can comment on this video as well for a chance to enter. Don't forget to check out all the 12 Days of Christmas videos from this year. They all have a giveaway attached to them, and I'm going to be announcing the winners on Saturday. And I wanted to say another big thank you to Winnie and Walter. And while I'm finishing up this card, which is pretty straightforward at this point, I'm just coloring it in with my marker, I wanted to say that I am actually doing a Christmas silent auction over on my blog. So if you want to participate in that, just click on my blog below and then click on Stamps for Sale, and you'll see that post there. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be auctioning off many of the stamp sets seen in my videos. I'm finished my Christmas cards, so I thought I would auction off those stamps since I'll be buying new ones for next year's series. And what I'm going to be doing with the money is not investing it in any more product or anything for me. Rather, I'm going to give it back to the community. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out with the money made from the silent auction. I'm going to go buy different toiletries, gift cards for supermarkets, for the homeless here in Edinburgh. And I'm going to give, I'm hoping, 5 lucky people a nice Christmas gift that are disadvantaged, and just to give back and say thank you for everyone for supporting the series and for supporting my channel. If you're interested in doing that, you can go to my blog and place a bid on the stamp sets. I'll pick the highest bidder for each stamp, and yeah, and then they'll transfer the money and I'll go out and buy for the homeless, and I'll be making a video on that as well, just to prove that I'm actually doing that with the money that is given. So I just wanted to say thank you again for supporting that auction. It's over on my blog, links below in the description, towards Christmas. Thank you so much for watching. All the supplies used are linked to below in the video description or on my blog. Here you're welcome to click to visit my blog and supply list up at the top. Over on the right, you can click the subscribe button to subscribe to my channel, or you can click on the picture to see day 12 of last year's 12 Days of Christmas series. Thanks so much for all your support, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.